Aloha everyone, this is Lenora, Hawaii's Pickle Lady. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a special guest, my daughter-in-law Gigi, and she's gonna make empanadas.
Hi. So we're going to start with the dough, and all I do in this bowl, I just added flour. We're just going to add salt, sugar. We're going to mix all this up. You can use this in the food processor just in pulse mode, but I'm just going to use everything with by hand. So if you don't want to make the dough by hand, what you can actually do is go to your Asian market in the frozen section where they sell all the wraps. So empanada came from, I guess, Spain, and there's many different type of fillings that you can use. I know the Cuban has a certain type of filling. We're gonna do this the Filipino way, how I remembered how my auntie did it. So I already mixed everything in here, and what we're gonna do is mix the cold egg. You want everything kind of cold, the cold egg, butter, and water, so that way it stays flaky. So I have one whole egg, nice and cold. What we're gonna do is mix it in with your flour.
And you have a well in the center and put all the wet ingredients in?
Yeah, we're gonna just mix it.
And empanadas, according to history, surfaced around the 15th century and in Spain and Portugal and other countries like that. And so most of the fillings inside were made with seafood. And one of the first cookbooks to show this was in 1520. And there are many kinds of fillings that are possible. So this is just one. This is the Filipino takeoff.
So I already mixed in the eggs, and now I'm gonna put 1 stick of butter. I cubed it. This is nice and cold. So now we're gonna use our hands to mix all this. So what we're gonna look for while we're squishing the butter into the flour is a nice sandy feeling, but I still got a long way to go.
It's kind of like making pie dough, right?
Yes, exactly.
You have to incorporate all the butter into the flour. And it's kind of dry, so how are you gonna make it moist?
I'm gonna be using water here.
Okay. How long have you done this?
I haven't, just recently, you know, you think back of your childhood foods that you ate and family making things again. You don't pay attention when you're young in the kitchen. You didn't really care, you just like to eat. But now when you crave for these flavors, you know, we start remembering it.
Isn't it true of all the foods that we make? And a lot of my recipes are like that. You know, I never had an interest in cooking until I was by myself and I wanted to eat.
Same here.
Yeah.
I mean, it was always simple cooking, but now, I mean, you know, you really end up remembering all these flavors that you grew up in.
And again, according to history, the empanadas initially were done as pies, but then as time went on, they said, oh, you gotta make smaller ones so people can just hand eat these. And that's how this evolved into small little pie-like tarts.
So you can actually bake these or fry them. Okay, so I'm almost done here. You can see how it looks nice and grainy like sand. Okay, so this is done. This is what you're looking for. Nice sandy texture. And now we can add our liquids in here. So I got vinegar here. And what we're gonna do is slowly add the water in, and if it's too dry, you're going to add a little more water. So I'm just gonna start with this much water.
What do you think the vinegar does?
That'll make it a little more on the flakier side. You know, your hand's gonna get dirty, nice and wet, but don't worry, this is gonna come out really good. And when you're done, when this looks like a dough, you're gonna knead it, but not too much. You don't wanna over knead it. So I think I need more water. What I've done was I put some water in the refrigerator. You wanna keep it cold so everything, you know, stays nice and flaky. So I added more water, but I feel that it needs a little more to be kind of like a Play-Doh type of texture. And you just, if you feel like you need to add more water, you know, that's up to you there. So.
And you got to be really careful because you can just dump a whole bunch.
Yeah, you don't want to do
Yeah.
that. Okay, so I added water, and this is what I'm looking for, a dough-like. I'm going to now transfer it on here. Oh, here. And we're going to knead it maybe like 2-3 times. You don't want to over knead it. And what we're going to do is just let it sit in the fridge.
If you over knead it, what happens?
Then it's not going to be all too flaky.
It'll be tough, probably, yeah.
So that's it. This is what you want. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up, let it sit in the fridge just to sit and get it nice and cold. And what we're going to do after this here is we're going to make the filling. So this is really easy to make. I mean, for some of you who don't like to bake, I mean, it is really easy. You just follow this video here, you'll get the hang of it. Most people will do the easy way by shopping and getting the or your I can't.
I know what you mean. Dough for turnover pastries.
Yeah, it's easy to go to the grocery store at your Asian market to pick one of this up, but this is just as good. Okay, so we'll just let this sit in the fridge and make the filling.
About how long?
A good 30 minutes. Go ahead and add the patis in for me. Now we're just flavoring the meat. I got some sugar in here, you can pour that. And we're gonna pour in oyster sauce and soy sauce. Okay, see how everything is all incorporated and it's getting all nice and soft. Okay, so we'll just add the carrots, let it sit for a few minutes, just until it's tender. You don't need to cook it all the way.
The carrots are kind of hard, so you have to cook it a little bit.
Yeah, again, everything's optional at this time. And you can add more carrots, more tomatoes, more peas, or more raisins. So it's all optional. Whatever you have in your pantry is what you can whip up.
So usually you follow the recipe the first time. After that, you're on your own. Make it yours.
So now we can add the potatoes. And see all the gravy here, or the sauce? I'm sure the potatoes will absorb all that.
It's interesting because at first there was a lot of liquid and we thought we'd have to put cornstarch in it, but as it cooked, everything absorbed. And with the potatoes, it'll be a lot drier because you don't want the filling too wet when you put it in the dough. Yeah. You cut it really nice. I don't think I can cut it that even.
You started cooking late in life.
Well, you're doing really well.
I have
really
to catch on real fast. And again, with the seasonings, I know you saw me using oyster sauce, patis, and soy sauce. You can omit one, or, you know, just use a little bit of that. So now this is about halfway done. We can add in the peas.
And these are frozen peas?
Yeah.
Can you use canned peas?
I prefer frozen peas because of the color. But if that's all you have in your pantry, you can use that.
And also canned peas tend to be softer and they get kind of mushed up.
And you can also use the frozen mixed vegetables.
Oh yeah, that's right
you
too.
You can use that. And we'll just now add our last ingredient, which is the raisins. See how colorful this all looks? It smells really good, and that raisin's going to add a nice touch of sweetness when you bite into it. So we're almost done. I'm just waiting for the carrots and potatoes to cook a little, because while we're baking it, it'll cook it up a little more.
And see, there's no liquid.
Yeah.
So it all absorbed by the vegetables, the potatoes in particular.
So we are done here. What we're gonna do is let this cool off completely, and then we're gonna assemble the empanada. Lenara, the filling has cooled, so now we can start assembling it.
Okay.
So, and I got a nice cold dough. So what I'm gonna do is just divide this up. Let me just get this. So as I'm doing a section at a time here, I'm gonna keep it in the fridge so it stays nice and cool. So let's just do a little at a time.
Yeah.
Here, I'll put that in. Okay, so what we're gonna do with the dough is I'm gonna roll it, and I prefer just flattening everything out and use a cup to make my empanada. Some people will roll it as a log and dividing it up evenly, but I'm gonna go this route. So we'll just start with that. And you wanna keep it about 1/8 inch of the thickness.
It's rolling pretty good.
Yeah, you can feel it feels good.
So if you can make pie crust, you can do the same here.
Exactly.
Pretty easy.
Now with the Goya wrap, this is so cute, it's individually wrapped.
Yeah.
Kind of like, see the thickness? That's what I'm going for. I'm almost there. So whatever remainder you don't use here, you can just add it onto the other portion. So I'm gonna use this cup because I like mine a little small. Okay, so once I got it cut, I'm just gonna roll it out a tad bit. I feel that that wrapper is a little too small. So what I'm gonna do is put it in my palm here, and I'm gonna use a teaspoon and just grab it. Let it sit like this, and I grab the top. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is start from the bottom. I'm gonna just pinch. Well, I started from the top here, started pinching out this way, and you have to pinch it hard to let it close here. And tuck in whatever meat maybe is sticking out here. So I'm done pinching everything here. So with a fork, I am gonna just crimp it here. This is the easier way. And my little bite-sized piece. You wanna try one, Lenora?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna do mine a little different, sort of the Chinese way. Okay. So now I'm gonna close it. You really,
I have to pinch mine. I pinch mine, kind of pinch and squeeze.
yeah, you really have to play with this to get it to stick together.
Yeah, the more you do it, the better you get at this.
So I leave about a 1/3 of an inch border, and then I just fold it like this. This is the way they make the dim sums,
Yeah, even the apple
the half
pies.
moons.
Yeah,
It's
I didn't master that
yeah,
yet.
it's a little tricky. Takes some practice, but it
Right.
looks nice. Okay, that's
There you go. Okay, so these are my little bite-sized pieces, empanadas. Again, this is the easy way to do it. That's a more fancier way until you get the hang of it. Just reminds me of apple pie. And now we're gonna use this Goya wrap. It is a little bigger, so you're gonna be using more filling in here.
this is the small ones are perfect size for appetizers when you have a party, because you don't want people to eat all the big ones really quick.
Just gotta get
So-
the hang of the wrap.
More to get around.
Yeah, so again, the Filipinos, the Argentinian, or in Argentina or Cuban empanadas, they do it either this way or that way. There's nothing wrong. Whichever way it'll come out, it'll be a nice crust to it. So this, I think I made mine a little too thin. So if you're struggling on getting this together, you might put some water. You may want to put some water in it. just to seal it. Let me get that here.
Does that seal better than the...
No, it doesn't. It's,
Oh,
it's
boy.
the same. You just have to use this here or just do it that method. Because at least you can lock it in here. See? Big bite-sized pieces in comparison to this. So I'll just do a few of this and we'll go and bake it. And here is the Goya wrap. If you are struggling closing this, you can add water at the end here, in the middle here. Well, I'm sorry, at the end of the rim here. So that way it's easier.
Is it sticking better?
It's sticking better, yeah.
Good, good.
So,
And these are very different from wonton skins. You probably could use wonton skins, but the wonton skins are thinner and a little different from this. This is more like flour-based.
right. Wonton is the Asian. This is a
Yeah.
empanada, Latin, Filipino, Spanish.
And the Mexicans make empanada. They don't use this kind of filling. They use like green bananas, and they cook it till it's soft, and then they make a masa with it. Or they use cornmeal, which is they call the masa, that you can buy in Mexican stores, and you roll it out, and then they make it like this.
And besides using meat filling, you can also use pineapple, cream cheese. You can use apple, caramelized cinnamon apple, or some people put cheese and beans in it.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, so you can do it however you want it, just as long as you close it.
Now, I know a Mexican lady, and when she makes her empanadas with bananas or with the masa, she cooks pork until it's very, very soft. She shreds it and cooks it with onions, garlic, and potatoes. And that's her filling, and that's very good too. She usually deep fries it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
So I only do this in the front. You don't have to do it in the back. And that's what it looks like. So this is the finished product with the egg wash. You get this nice crispy brownish color. So
Looks
we'll
good.
try this. So you have a mini size, a big size, a medium size. I'll give that to you, and I'll take that. And
Looks
you
good.
can dip this in whatever dip you want. You can eat it by itself. And we'll go. Filling might be hot. Here
Yeah,
it
it
is.
might be hot. Is it hot?
Crust is good.
Good crust. Fillings all cooked, really nice. You gotta try this. So you saw how it was made, not very hard. So thank you so much for coming, Gigi, and showing us how.
You're welcome.
So if you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that notification bell. Where is it, Gigi?
Right up there.
Mahalo for watching, and come again.
Bye.